So, Levert, we're now recording for the world at large. I am meeting with Levert Maze. He is a brand new agent located in Napa, and he is essentially not a prospect for the services that InboundREM provides, but I did agree to consult with him on what he should be doing as a brand new agent, a brand new driven agent, I should say.
Yes.
And he agreed as part of that exchange that we could do the consultation on recorded. My objective here, Levert, and to the world at large, is to take all the people that fall into the category of young, motivated real estate professionals, or maybe not young, I don't care, but just newer real estate professionals, because the advice is going to be the same. Doesn't really matter where you are in this country. My advice for a new agent is going to be the same. So, first of all, Levert, let's figure out what area that you most wanted help in. Now, my specialties are SEO, organic marketing, and lead generation. That's what I mostly do through storytelling online. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have thoughts or opinions about every other type of lead generation that's out there, such as the lower quality branded lead generation that you get off services like KV Core and things like that. So first of all, let's identify, did you have an objective when you called me, that something specific you wanted help with?
Yeah, so obviously, as a newer agent, lead generation is huge. Aside from, trying to work open houses right now, the filming of this, it's December, so there really isn't anything right now. But outside of doing what I can do on physically and working my sphere, I'm very interested in the pool marketing. I'm very interested in SEO. And I'm really interested to see how a new agent can begin to take the steps to get that flowing the right direction.
Okay. So for everybody that is watching this video, I'm going to share a screen. It's going to be a screen that's slightly over to my right. So I'm going to open that screen up. I'm going to take off my wristband from the Dead South show that I went to last night. All right. And can you see my screen and my mouse?
I can see your screen and your mouse, yes.
All right, perfect. All right, so I'm going to use as an example an agent that has been a real estate agent for about 4 years, but I got a hold of this agent when they were in, I think, maybe their first 18 months of their career. They were already setting records. They were already setting records when I met them. And some of the ways that they were setting records when they first got into the business. So your objective as a brand new agent, brand sparkling new agent, is you need leads right away. Now, the challenge with these like organic methodologies that I pursue is they are not immediate. They don't immediately generate you results. So oftentimes when I'm talking to somebody who is brand new, like Brett, we're going to try to figure out a way to get an immediate lead source coming through the door, something that they can close today and tomorrow, and it's going to take them through the first 12 to 18 months of their career. Now with Brett, again, using him as a case study, what we did is we recommended him into Zillow, or he was already with Zillow. To be honest with you, I don't remember anymore. He may have already been with him when he first talked to me. Simultaneously, while he was with Zillow, obviously the objective of any good organic marketing campaign for and anybody that's watching this is you do not want to maintain, like, keep giving the entirety of your career over to a marketing entity. They will not treat it right. Zillow is not your friend in terms of being a marketing provider. It's just somebody that might be able to get you leads. OpCity might be the same thing, realtor.com. Some of these services take as much as 30% of your commission. However, they can get you in front of customers, get deals closed for you, and start to let you do the most important exercise of your entire real estate career, which is creating a sphere of influence and creating a strong relationship with your first 100 clients, which, if you work them right, will be 100 people that are going to take you through the entirety of your career, no matter how long it is. The first 100 people you do business with. Now, what we did with Brett is he was already making a ton of sales at the end of his first year, and he was doing it off Zillow. So here's where he became an unusual person. He saw clearly the future of doing business with nothing but Zillow. And then he didn't want to do that anymore. He didn't want to be that person. So he worked doubly hard with a brand new baby. And he got deep into inbound marketing strategies with me. Now, what we did was we built him a WordPress website that he owned. And honestly, my sites and my services are on the expensive end, so they're not a great solution for most brand new agents. You would have to be a top #1 agent making the kind of money that that person is making in order to afford my services and then partner with me on the site. So I'm not saying partner with us. This isn't a promotional video. What I am saying is that you probably do want to get used to using WordPress or some other website platform you own, but WordPress is the best. And you want to get used to using this place as the place that you house your messaging. Interestingly enough, for new agents, for all those that are new out there, I have a shocking piece of information for you. Your lead generation is probably not going to come directly off the website. Not right now. We are in the middle of a crazy real estate marketplace. We're also in the middle of a real estate marketing company, a couple of them taking over the lead generation business, primarily Ylopo. And they're using a very aggressive marketing tactic, which means that people are changing the way that they're registering with websites. So the way that they're registering with websites in the past is they would oftentimes register while they're doing a property search, and they still are to some degree, but we're watching those numbers diminish incredibly. So you should expect that if you're going to be generating leads, you're going to be generating off phone calls. Phone calls are coming more directly off YouTube and off Google My Business. Okay, there you go. So for #1, for your time, Levert, you are starting to get some of the bang for your buck right now, because I'm telling you that lead generation is not happening where people think it's happening. The other place that is happening inside real estate is definitely these Google My Business profiles. Now, what I love about them and what I love about talking to you about and all the people that are going to watch this video, they're free. There is no cost to setting up a Google My Business profile. But when you do everything correctly on a profile and all that you need to know, like I have in-depth tutorials about how to work a Google My Business profile for real estate. Just go onto my YouTube channel and look around, scout around. However, what the simplest piece of information that I can give you is connect to an address that is closest to your primary marketplace that you're going to keep for years. This is my home address. Okay. Do not get creative with these addresses. They really impact how effective this profile is. Okay. So I would maybe use your home instead of your business office, just in case you change brokerages 3 or 4 years from now or something. I'm not saying you will at all. I'm just saying you have to prepare for the unexpected when you're building one of these profiles. Okay. So you create it with the most durable address that you have at your disposal. And then you make sure that you create your YouTube channel with the same email address. Now, this one little tip for everybody that's watching this, this is probably the place. So when I do a search, any search related to real estate marketing company, I come up within 100 miles. I'm always #1. You know what the #1 reason for that is that Google is looking for a hyperlocal destination company that is authoritative. They want somebody that's going to be helpful to the person that's doing the search. They want a business that's going to help you. One of those main things that they're looking at is they're looking at YouTube, and they're connecting user metrics from YouTube into your Google My Business profile, your hyperlocal profile. Well, I have such an authoritative YouTube channel that nobody's going to catch me anytime soon. So anytime somebody does I think even if they added in Los Angeles, it used to be other people would come up, but I'm pretty sure these days I still come up. Yep, I still come up. So even when I add Los Angeles into the keyword, Los Angeles Real Estate Marketing Company, I'm always number one.
Wow.
Okay. Number one in the entire county. Okay, for anything related to real estate marketing. All right, which is my primary keyword. I could do internet marketing. I'm still going to come up. See what I mean?
Yeah, see, and this is so huge because, you know, I think about, all right, if I was going to look at something or I wanted to know about something, like what type of house I want to do or find or something, I'm probably going to Google first. You know, I'm not going to Facebook. I'm not, you know, looking on Instagram. I'm going to Google and I'm typing what you're doing and I'm typing that in just to see what comes up, see what I can find out. I think that's almost everybody's first instinct in, you know, in 2021 and probably in the future.
Correct. And just to show you guys that this works, okay? So I have given Brett, the realtor who was our case study, the same advice that I'm giving you, Levert.
Okay.
The difference between Brett and most of my customers is he took the advice and acted on it. He created a very deep YouTube channel. So he has all this content that gets absorbed and engaged by local people. So when I do the search from California and I do the search Sugar Land, Texas Realtor, which is his primary market, it's the #1 place he wants calls from. Guess who comes up first?
Brett
Wallace. Okay, in
with
the organic.
reviews, with good reviews to boot.
Right. The reviews is the second thing. When you're brand new and you're wondering what you can be doing to help promote your business, build your business, here's an interesting thing that people don't understand about reviews. They assume incorrectly that reviews have to be from customers that they've sold homes to. When you look at my website and you look at my reviews, the vast majority of my reviews are not coming in from people I've sold anything to. Why? Because reviews are not just from customers. They are a character study. That's what people are looking for when they look at reviews. They want to know what it is to be talking to you. And most people who are looking at reviews are in the early stages of evaluating whether or not they want to have a conversation with you. So actually, the most important thing that you can do inside of a review is explain how easy or helpful you are inside of a conversation, not how great you are at selling a home. That's actually scary if all you have is people that have bought homes for you. So Brett and I both have a similar thing inside of our reviews. There's a lot of people here like this, Deborah Scott Riggs, never done any business with her. Robert is a wealth of information. He's very knowledgeable in his field. He gave me so many nuggets. He was very informative about other companies and offered his suggestions on how to increase my web traffic. So imagine this. Imagine that your reviews profile was filled with prospective homeowners, but what they were saying was, Levert was amazing. He taught me so much about looking for a home without necessarily pressuring me to buy any of the inventory that he had. So let's just say that that's a review that you get, and then somebody throws it up on your profile. Imagine how comfortable everybody else is going to feel scheduling a conversation with you. Imagine how much better that looks to certain people, like prospective people who are then reviewing social proof. That's reviews. Okay. And look at these reviews. He's the most awesome realtor Texas could have. This is the 3rd transaction with Brett Wallace since 2013. Incredible energy. He really cares. It's an honor to know him and trust him with our homes over the years. I give him 100 stars out of 10.
That's great.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not just, yeah.
It's what I like about it is, you know, what's going to come through the most is going to be how you really care for people. You know, how do you care for the people? Not just the client, they are clients or potential clients, but people, you know, and that seems to be the what gets those reviews to come out.
Right. So it looks like maybe the years I've misjudged the years with Brett, because this young lady is saying 2013. And I was under the impression that he had only been in the business for a few years. I may be wrong. Maybe he's been doing it for longer, but certainly his last few years have been benchmark years. And certainly he and I have only been talking for 2.5 years. And in those 2.5 years, we've increased his ranking by a shit ton on his hyperlocal ranking profile. And the way that we did it was, number one, we did all these responses. The number one review that he has at the very top of his reviews is me, because he's the only client out of 150 that bothered to ask me for a review. And I am what's called a local guide, a highly rated one. So a review from me counts like 5 from other people. And he's the only guy that bothered to ask me for one in my entire client base.
That's insane.
Right? So, and then what do I say? He's an amazing client. He goes, and that's another thing about reviews. People are under the impression that you have to be false. No, exact opposite. If a client of yours asks you to do a review, be transparent about the relationship. That's what people are looking for, is honesty.
Yeah.
You know, here Brett is an amazing client. He goes the extra mile, follows every tip, and executes at a very high level, creating amazing value for his customers while also being one of mine, which is the whole objective of my whole entire agency. That's it, right there in a sentence. I want to create a lot of value so that you can turn around and create a lot of value for your customers, and it will create a loop that goes around and around and around. So this Google My Business, what you're looking at, the reason that we're focused on it so much is that this makes Brett more money than anything else right now. That's not a paid source. You're looking at it. He gets listings, he gets calls. Now he does get, the last time I asked him, at least about 10 calls a week off his YouTube channel. Okay. His YouTube channel right now has 41,000 views on it total. What we've done is we've gone, so 82% of the searches right now that relate to real estate are happening on video platforms. Okay. So you're asking, as a brand new agent, where is the action, right? You go to an internet marketer who specializes in real estate. You ask them for an hour of your time. You say, hey, give me some tips and some tricks and some clues. Well, all of the clues as it relates to lead generation are video. Get used to video, get comfortable with video. 82% of most of the searches inside the US are happening on video platforms right now. Video, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, they're all video platforms. The number one delivery of messages in today's market is video. And in the marketplace in the next 2 or 3 years, it's going to change to the metaverse. When we all have virtual reality headsets, that's going to change the game. They're still getting adopted though, but that's going to impact real estate a lot in the next few years. So when you get a chance 2 years from now, when you're making bank, because you will if you follow this advice,
right?
What you do is you buy yourself a virtual headset and get ahead of the entire marketplace, because I promise you there's going to be a part of the real estate where somebody's got the goddamn phone and some type of virtual headset presentation from you, and they're walking through you're walking through a house and you're not even with them.
Oh, that's next level.
So, but what are we doing today? It's video. It's videos. And if you want to see like what a great video channel is from a brand new-ish realtor, certainly for sure, maybe he's not a brand new realtor, but he is new into embracing digital. That's for certain. 3 years, he's new into embracing digital. So what could you pick up from him? Like, he's doing market reports. He's doing, once you have a destination, like whether it's an expensive site, like one of the ones I build, or it's a really inexpensive site, like one of the ones that Playster builds, if you're have like a real estate website that has a place for you to produce content, my advice to you is getting used to producing messaging that you think is going to be helpful for your local audience. And I strongly recommend that you research on YouTube and you look at not only Brett, but you look at other realtors. Let's look at Napa, and let's just do Napa relocation. And we do the search in YouTube.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
Bang. So now we know 15,000 views. So here's a few different things. We're picking up a lot of production off different types of sites. Now, not very many of them are real estate agents. There is one, Melinda Cap Homes, with 71 subscribers. But guess what? Her one Napa video has 15,000 views.
It does.
Okay. So this is, she spent however long she spent on this video, but she got in front of 15,000 people, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Who are thinking of living in Northern California. That's insane for a single marketing effort that she did as an independent realtor. All right.
Yeah.
It's getting in front of 41,000 people. The numbers and the methodology behind digital marketing are insane. Like you could spend your lifetime knocking on doors and not knock on 15,000 doors.
That's true.
You do 200 a day or 2,000 a month, and it would still take you almost a year to knock on this many doors. And 200 a day is an extraordinarily large amount. So more like you'd probably knock on 60 doors a day. And I used to run canvassing crews, so I speak from experience.
Okay.
So it's more like you're going to do 60 a day. You're going to do 600 a month. This number right here is 2 years of door knocking. So think about that. And when you're talking about knocking on doors, you're not talking about meeting every homeowner. You're talking about meeting about 1 out of 15. So this is a way to engage with a much larger audience at a much more deeper level, because people are much more inclined to watch this video than answer the door and have an open, honest conversation with you. What I like about this video is it's all her talking about living in Northern California. And it would appear to be that she's done 3 or 4 sets with a little bit of video editing inside the video. So this is not a really overly sophisticated video, but it still has gotten her 15,000 views and probably most of her 71 subscribers. So let's look at this. Yeah, she did this little.
Yeah, look at that. Look at these ones. The views are much smaller.
Here's what's probably happening with her. She hasn't figured out keyword research or what to be talking about. She's experimenting on her channel. Most likely, and again, for everybody that's watching, she's most likely a member of a Facebook group. There's one Facebook group, and I can tell by looking at her thumbnails that she's probably part of it. So there's a single Facebook group that is where almost everybody that's in real estate would be a part of. That's called the Real Estate YouTube Mastermind with 6,300 members, and it's run by Christine and Matthew. Okay, so you can join this group and they will teach you for free how to do thumbnails and everything else related to video. The one thing they don't ever talk about is keyword research. Okay, there's a way to research how much search is happening on YouTube. The reason that realtors stay away from it is it usually involves having to subscribe to and pay for a tool. Now there's numerous tools that are out there. There's TubeBuddy, there's what I use, which is I use 2 things, but I use my expensive software as a service when I'm start doing YouTube keyword research. I use Ahrefs, but I also have what the fuck is it that I use? vidIQ.
What is it called?
vidIQ.
vidIQ.
vidIQ is what I use. I strongly recommend that you do use these things. Okay, and start to figure out from a keyword perspective where search is taking place. So if we do Napa real estate as a core search on YouTube.
And this is Ahrefs here.
Yeah, this is Ahrefs. What we'll find out is that there doesn't seem to be a ton of marketing happening for those specific keywords. All right. So let's click on this. And they're not sending me down any interesting threads. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do living in Napa. These living in keywords, we just saw her video. We saw it got 15,000
Right.
views. So we know that this is wrong, that there is some kind of search happening for living in Napa. So here's another way to do it with my keyword tool. Let's find that video again.
There it is.
So that Ahrefs did not work very well for me. So here's what I'm going to do now. I can see the video tags that she's used.
Oh.
My service will rank those tags for me. Okay, so I know she's number 4 for what is it really like living in Northern California. So that appears to be one of the main keywords that she's got. Now, this time around in video does appear to be giving me much better information on search volume than these other tools that I was using. So this is why you oftentimes have more than one tool, you know, as an internet marketer. And this is a very deep dive into YouTube or how to use YouTube. And Levert, the reason I'm doing such a deep dive is we're recording this, and I know that on my own channel, there's going to be hundreds of people that are going to be helped by this video that we're doing together.
Oh, yes.
So I don't mind spending a little extra time getting even more detailed than I would normally get. So this is saying that 2,700 people search for this keyword. 3,600 people search for the keyword Northern California. Things to do in Northern California, 1,500. But do you see what I'm saying? By doing a little research and spending $10 a month on a keyword inspector, it pays you back in terms of your time, because we now have a good understanding. If we were doing research and trying to figure out something for you to create, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at the things that other people have created, not only from a quality perspective, but what are they talking about? Like this person is now talking about California versus Georgia, which is better. Okay, now this is very broad stuff, and she's not really selling Northern California. I mean, she's not really selling herself in the way that I would. She's also doing this. I don't know how she's producing the video, but this is her location tag. So she is making lots of very basic mistakes with creating her videos, which is why her subscriber count is so low and why she probably isn't yet generating leads off her YouTube channel. Now compare this to Brett, who I know for a fact has generated business off his YouTube channel. Now, it did take him a year or so to get the momentum going, and he doesn't have any videos with 15,000 views. But what we do have is keywords that are very specific. We also have these videos connected to a website. So all these areas that you're looking at, like, let's just look at this another way. Richmond. At the highest level, and this is long-term for everybody watching the video. This is like a few years worth of effort, but at the highest level, what we're looking for is a result similar to this. So we have a video on Royal Lake Estates, which is an expensive, well, it's a slightly higher than median community in the areas that Brett services. So we do a search for Royal Lake Estates, and we find his website on the first page of Google. So we're getting traffic from Google. So we click in here and we look at the video itself. We watch it on YouTube. And we discover that it has 204 views. So we've gotten 204 views off YouTube, not Google, not that other part of Google. And then when we look at what are we ranked for, here's what we tend to do for everybody watching. I do not care about the wandering generalities like the videos that young lady was producing. What I usually care about with my clients is I want to get them in front of the specific audiences for the specific areas that they care about. It does not matter if there's only 10 of those people doing a search every single month. It doesn't matter. Levert, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
What we want is we want to get in front of those 10 people and start to hammer home your reputation as a hyper local expert. You're the guy in the car telling the great stories about the area. You're the guy in the car in front of the vineyards. You're the guy in the car basically adopting and taking over the entirety of Napa Valley as its primary storyteller and lifestyle sharer. When you watch Brett, he is taking over all of Fort Bend because he is doing the work. He's talking about how big the homes are and how many square feet they have and how many bedrooms they have and are they good for a family? Who should live in the home? Who does he feel like and how good has he heard the schools are? You can't recommend a school as a realtor here in California, but you can say, like, I've heard these schools are good. That's not promoting the school. That's just simply saying you're sharing a reputation-based analogy from other people. Look, 48 acres of lakes, and right now it's about 243. So he takes the time to research the area before driving through it. He knows everything about it, how big it is, how many amenities it has, if it's a subdivision. And then he's also showing you specifically what it looks like, which makes these videos wildly engaging. Most people watch his videos most of the way through. And this is why he gets phone calls. Brett is the guy to go to if you're going to be, and we put his phone number. So here's what we do as a professional marketing company that you can call that you can copy. When you can afford to hire somebody like us, of course you hire somebody like us.
Right.
We do a video index so people can jump around the video at will. We put some of the information that Brett has actually shared with us on the video. We encapsulate it into a cool little blurb like this. Now, this right here is an SEO tactic. This is to get this video recognized. Do you see where we are at with all the keywords we have targeted? Number 2, number 1, number 1, number 1, number 1, number 1, number 1.
Right.
Basically, if anybody searches anything on YouTube related to Royal Lake Estates, they find this video. Now, you can see here, this video has been in place for 2 years and it only has 204 views. That means there are not that many people searching for Royal Lake Estates on YouTube. Once again, for everybody watching and for you, Levert, I don't care. I've gotten in front of the 200 people that are looking for information on YouTube about Royal Lake Estates. As YouTube continues to get more popular and people continue to understand how much information they can get on YouTube, we will watch this search volume rise off a piece of content that we created years ago. This piece of content is not done generating leads for Brett.
No.
It's going to continue to generate leads for Brett for years to come. And he spent about an hour producing it.
Yeah, and I think, another thing about that, you said it earlier, but 204 people. I mean, how many doors do you have to knock? How many cold calls do you have to make to get to 204? And how many of those are actually going to be viable leads? Where Brett put this out, and I'm sure those 200 were probably, a lot of that volume probably came when the video came out 2 years ago. Not to say that it's not still getting some volume. Anybody that wants to move there is going to have a video to look at. So, that's just impressive to me.
I'm glad you think so. Another thing about Brett is he has 261 subscribers. He doesn't even have a single video with 15,000. And what does that tell us? Okay, here's what that tells us, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is that the goal of anybody doing content, you need to be a storyteller to your audience. You need to decide in advance who your audience is. Now, Brett has decided. He's taken my advice, and we're talking to people who are interested in moving into a subdivision in Fort Bend, Texas. That's all that he's communicating about. That's it. Subdivisions in Fort Bend. Okay. So all of these tags that you're looking at, they're subdivisions in Fort Bend. Big surprise, right? So if you have an interest in a subdivision in Fort Bend, this is the questioned expert in that. So for you, Levert, and anybody that's new, don't decide I'm going to do all of Napa. You are up against some of the top realtors in the country. Napa is a very popular area, the one that you're in. Many of the people watching this video is also going to be faced with the same dilemma. You're going to have people that have been doing it for 15, 20 years and are already making millions in commission and have their network dialed in the market that you're in. So how do you get around that? You pick something specific that they are overlooking and start your career there. What could that be? That could be historic homes in Napa. There's tons of them. Okay. What else could it be? Could be land, homes with land. You could focus on the vineyard side of the business. There's not as much inventory in that category, but and it may be a little overdone in Napa, but that would be another way that you could go. You could also, if there's a limited supply of condos, townhomes, or other types of investment property, or you could go that direction. I've heard through the grapevine, because my family used to vacation in Napa, that Napa has been growing a lot over the last number of years. So there might be some inventory there that people haven't started to focus on. Another thing, if it really has been growing that fast, new development. You can focus on new development. Okay, if there's really enough of it happening inside Napa, you go out and knock on the door of all the builders. Say, hey, my name is Levert. I'm a brand new real estate agent, but I'm going to get on YouTube and I'm going to promote the fucking hell out of you. All I need you to do is just be okay with me walking around your development and using a camera and talking. But I promise you, I'm going to be big and I'm going to help make you even bigger. And then we're going to sell homes together. That's how I would do it. So you get the builder on board. And then now if you can get the builder on board and have a relationship with them, whoever that is, the development project coordinator, whatever that is, just somebody with some type of authority as it relates to the builder. If you get really lucky and get a chance to do an interview with that person, now you are the unquestioned expert despite your newness into your career. Because now you've got an interview with you and the builder, and you're saying, I know everything there is to know about these homes. And since it's new development, these older reps with all these referrals, they are not going to be the expert that people are going to go to, because here's the one thing that everybody wants when it comes to a salesperson of anything. If they're going to buy from you, they want to make sure that they're buying from the person that knows the product the best. That's it. If they can afford you, they want to know that they are speaking to the person that knows it the best. Right? Don't you? When you buy a car, do you go to the lowest performing salesperson, or do you try to find the top guy on the lot because he probably knows the car is the best? Right. I know what I do.
Well, that's why I contacted you in the first place. I mean, really? So
exactly.
So
these are all things that I recommend that you do so to summarize this, because I'm going to wrap this up. The Levert, it is get on Instagram, get on YouTube, get on TikTok, and use the same video content for all the platforms. Don't think to yourself, oh my God, I got to do all this content for all these places. Just put the same content in each place.
Okay.
I have a post that I did a number of years ago that's talking about, I'll pull it onto the screen here, a little bit of shameless self-promotion.
Love it.
Social media marketing. This post will show you there we go. It's old, did in 2017.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but this post will really kind of show you what you should do to optimize stuff on like Instagram and things like that.
Okay.
Pinterest, places like that. So if you're curious to know how you should be promoting your content on Facebook, Instagram, any of those platforms, this is the post for you, because it all comes down to hashtags. So you can just review my post that I did in 2017. That's still a fairly relevant post, and then use that to promote your shit.
Yeah, this has been very informative. One of the reasons I had actually hesitated on doing YouTube, which I have full plans to do YouTube, but I wanted to talk with you, was what kind of stuff do I put on there? There's a difference between Brett here and that seemingly very nice woman that we were looking at. And the difference is Brett is targeting, and he knows exactly what he needs to put out there to get good leads. And it's not just a catch-all. And that was the last thing I wanted to do. Is put something out there that's not going to be effective. So this has been very informative.
I am extremely grateful, And thank you very much, Levert, for agreeing to let us record this. It's going to get posted to the InboundREM YouTube channels. It's going to get kicked out to my LinkedIn channel, my LinkedIn audience, and it's going to probably end up on my Pinterest channel. So just so that you're aware, in sum total, that means that over 50,000 people are going to have access to it. So real estate agents and realtors. So you may become a little bit internet famous without.
That's quite all right with me.
All right, so I'm gonna hit the stop share, stop sharing my screen. I'm gonna hit stop recording, and then you and I can wind up our call in stop recording. Yes.